FICO is one of the companies that creates a credit score. So basically, there are companies that are in the business of pulling together a credit score. Does anyone know the history of why credit scores started to exist in the first place? Okay.
Wasn't it a way for lenders to assess the risk of lending?
It is, and the reason it started was actually from a civil rights concern. So in the past, the way that lending used to work is that you would walk into your bank, and they would look at you, and they would decide whether they wanted to loan you money or not. Now, based on the banker's experience of people who looked the way that you looked or spoke the way that you spoke, that could affect whether or not you were going to get a loan. It was a very, very subjective experience. It was a huge concern in the United States that as a result of that, specifically African Americans especially, were not getting loans, even though like an application for an African American would look exactly the same as someone of another ethnicity. And so in order to try to make the basis of whether or not you got a loan much more based in what your history with credit was, i.e. whether you really were going to be a risk or not a risk, they sent tens of hundreds of thousands of histories from people who applied for mortgages and got them and then paid or didn't pay to a little mathematics company in San Rafael or somewhere up there. And that company is called Fair Isaac's Company. And they got all this data and they plowed through it and came up with a mathematical system to determine who was actually likely to pay their loans back and who wasn't. It doesn't mean that the score actually says anything specifically about you. What it says is people like you in the past have had a risk of this much.